Hello, happy Saturday, everybody. I wanted to kind of jump on here, give you a quick update on some of the stuff that I'm seeing. Also, I wanted just a reminder for tomorrow. We're going to do a town hall here starting at 4 p.m. And so this will be your opportunity to, ask questions if you have questions about what's happening up there in Salem. This will also be the opportunity for you to figure where we're at. And so, I want to make sure that we all show up tomorrow if we can. And so it's going to go from probably 4 to 5, depending on how things go. And so, there's going to be lots of stuff that we're going to learn tomorrow. And so the past couple of days, I spent a lot of time reaching out to, friends and partners from across the country and getting them scheduled for us to do these listen and learn events that I was trying to do. And so that being said is, I have a pretty good list already signed up, but I'm just waiting on bios and headshots, and I'm going to start putting these events in. And I figure we'll do just one a week, and we'll kind of see how they go and see how you guys enjoy them. And obviously, these are people that are from around the country that do what we do and what we're trying to do here in Oregon. And so it's going to be a really good learning lesson for all of us, and it's a refresher for me, and what kind of tactics they're using there in their state. And so hopefully it'll be something that we can take stuff from it that we can use here in Oregon. And so, obviously depending on what state they're in is how bad the legislation. Obviously I have a friend, Rick Ector, he's in Michigan. They have some bad stuff in the city of Detroit that he has to deal with. My friend Charlie Cook, he's from Massachusetts. It's horrific gun laws there. And so, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to also bring some other people. Tony Simon, he's going to be the first one up, and he is actually in New Jersey, and so he does some really cool stuff in the 2A. So everything is going to be about increasing our knowledge, which our knowledge is going to help increase our skill, and that's kind of the goal here. And so for tomorrow, we're going to have a couple reps here, and they're going to kind of talk about their districts, what they have going on up there, and how we can help them. And so if you guys have questions, I recommend there was a chat that you guys can not the chat, there's a actual post where you can add your information there. And if you have any questions, just you guys, it's going to be a live chat. I'll be moderating everything. And so I'll be kind of highlighting the questions, and we can kind of go from there. And so it should be fun. And so, that's kind of where we're at. And so it'll be fun. It'll be different. And, this will be, I spend a lot of time going on podcasts and doing interviews and stuff like this. Will be the first time me really moderating. And, so I'm spending time, developing questions that are going to be really, really important to get the information out of them that we could use here. And, so, this is a really cool thing. Rick Ector will be here in a couple weeks. He's actually just got elected to the NRA board of directors. And so that'd be a really cool thing to kind of hear about, what that process was like for him. And so, so we're talking about another update I wanted to give you guys is on House Bill 2005. And so looks to me like they couldn't reach quorum. And so they have this scheduled for the first reading tomorrow at in the morning on Sunday. And so all comes down to whether or not they're going to be able to make quorum or not, whether this thing is actually going to get the first reading. And this is probably the first step of the process. And I would like to speak to one of my senators to kind of see, does this one get like 3 readings like it did in the House? I want to know all the rules. And so, I'm still kind of waiting to find out, what the process looks like, so I can figure out whether we or not we need to be there. And so I did see, let me go back to 2002. If you guys aren't paying attention to 2002, that's another one that's super bad. So this was actually getting a third reading on Monday. And so that means the floor vote will be on Monday, and that's bad. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. That's another one that talks about parental rights. That's something. And what's funny to me is they put all this up as the sponsors. Basically, everybody on the Democrat side is a sponsor of 2002, which I think it's really, really bad for kids. It's really, really bad for parents and parental rights. So the problem I have is it gives a 10-year-old the right to do certain things that, we're restricting the rights of other legal adults at 18 to 21 when it comes to 2005. And so, we can't say that a 10-year-old's old enough to do this to their own body, or a 15-year-old's able to do this to their body without the parents' consent, and then we're going to be taking the rights of legal adults away with 2005. There's a big disconnect there. And so I think we definitely need to highlight that. And, obviously I'm more focused on the gun side, but there's definitely some bad bills. I did see that 2572, there's nothing scheduled. So I think, that's a good sign for right now. Maybe all the pressure that we put on them, bought us some time. And so haven't seen it. It hasn't moved. I don't know what it's doing. I know the only information I have on 2572 is that it got the public hearing, which we had the other day. I had to drop off because I had to go somewhere. But I was on hold for like 3.5, 4 hours, and so, it was bad. It was bad the way they did it. They put all these bills together. They moved things around for their witnesses, and they didn't take account the people that had registered to testify. And I just think they got to do better. Like they say they quote unquote want us to be a part of this process. Well, if we take the time to be there, like, hear us out, and so, this one's still nothing's scheduled. I don't know if it's still in the House Committee on Rules. I don't know if it passed. I would imagine it passed. I didn't hear the update because I was unaware. I was away. So that's kind of where we're at. And so, Kyle. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So Connecticut's the same way. I'll have a lady from Connecticut in a couple of weeks as well, and she can kind of talk about they're talking about full on, registration of the rifles so they can come door to door. And so this is all stuff that we have to be aware of. And we for many, many years have, we've had really pretty lax gun laws, in regards where we can get pretty much anything we want. No weights, stuff like that. We haven't really been hit hard until the last couple of years. And so some of these other states, Connecticut, they've been fighting ever since Sandy Hook. And so, that's kind of the bad deal there is, we have to be aware. We have to see what's coming down the pike. New Jersey is another prime example. The governor there, very, very anti-2A. I don't even think they can carry a revolver. I'll ask Tony when he gets here, but it's like his restrictions are, they would love to do that here. And so we just got to make sure that we're active, engaged, and we're moving forward the way we need to move forward. And I feel like we're on the right track, and so, just a reminder though, we will be doing a town hall tomorrow. And so we're just going to figure out, kind of where we're at in the legislature. We're gonna have some, good information. And so I do recommend is bring some questions. And if you have questions about how the process works, what this looks like as, quorum, we're going to talk about quorum. That's like a hot button issue right now is quorum. And so there's people that understand what it is, and there's people that don't understand what it is. What the problem is Measure 113 takes away the ability to use the quorum as a tool. Yeah, we used to be able, before this law went into effect, we used to be able to walk out, right? And so the walkout would give, basically it's a way for our side, because we're in the minority, to be able to shut down the process. And so what they did is they got smart and they made it so now we cannot do that without some pain. And so that's why, we'll have, both the reps will be able to kind of speak more about, what this process looks like, and how we can help support the people that are doing the work on our behalf. And also, I'm just hoping to, kind of make sure that we're all on the same page to this stuff. There's a lot of people that are in support of the quorum. I'm kind of on the fence, because I know, like, I'm looking at the big picture and I'm looking downrange here, like a couple years down the road, are we going to be able to fill those seats if those reps or senators give up their seats because of Measure 113? And so, that's my biggest fear, is just making sure that we're not sleeping on this stuff, because if this does happen, to help us to save us with 2005 and 2002 and other bills like that, we have to be present. So we make sure that we put people that can take those spots. And so that's that's what's really, really important is we have to, like, I hope people are now paying attention to what's happening. What we saw with Measure 114, there's no end in sight. The amount of money that's being spent, litigating this is, over seven figures now. And that's from my latest Freedom of Information Act, which I got the other night. And so, that's a substantial amount of money. And we haven't got the trial yet. And so, that's, we have to understand that, they are going to continue to do what they do. And the only way we're gonna get smarter is if we actually get engaged and we vote and we hold these people accountable and we get them gone. So if you're not going to support our rights, you're not going to support the rights of our children, the young adults, if you're not going to support their rights, then we have a duty here in Oregon to get those people going. And I feel that we're moving the right way. And so, that's the only thing. I have some things that I am working on behind the scenes, right? So I'm working on a new organization that's going to be ready in the next couple of days. I'll be able to launch that. And I'm excited about that because everything that I'm doing now is going to tie into the work that I'm already doing. And so I'll be able to put people in place to, fast forward and move quicker and do things that we need to do to rally our bases and getting our people and our neighbors involved. And so I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I'm doing. And I've got some really good people in place that I trust. And, that's kind of where we're going. And so, I just want to give you that update and just make sure that we, if you can tune in tomorrow, it's going to go from 4 to 5 and it should be fun. I'm looking forward to, cause Rep Scharf and Rep Osborne are the ones that I've had a lot of conversations with them and I trust them and I respect them. And so it'll be a good opportunity for you guys to kind of, get to know them the way I know them. And so that's kind of where I'm going is I want to be able to open this platform up to them and be responsible about it. This is we're not using this as a campaign platform, but we're using it as a way to educate. Everything we're doing going forward is from an educational standpoint and how we can turn that education into action. And that's the goal, is turning everything that we do here into action, because action's what's going to get us the results. We saw that the other day when we were up there. And so, that's the thing, so no, I really appreciate that, Kyle. That it's little stuff like that really means a lot to these people, right? Up there. Cause it's, in reality, it's a really thankless job. It's impossible to make everybody happy. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be unhappy with the decision, whether it's on our side or the other side. There's always going to be somebody unhappy. And so, their staffers, they deal with a lot of anger and animosity, which I completely understand sometimes because of what's happening up there. And we're frustrated. We're on the outside looking in. We don't know how this process works. And we're looking to them for guidance, leadership. Obviously signing up for the email blast is really, really good. So I for the ones I really respect and appreciate, even the Democrats. So I sign up for theirs too, because it's all about getting the information. What is coming down the pike? What's going to their people? So I know, what kind of messaging they're using, and that's what helps kind of make me better what I do, so I can get the information out to you guys. And so, that's the thing, is just understanding how this process works. And if we can engage like in a basic, civics type level and understand, what this process looks like and understand the rules and everything like that, it's going to make us more effective as advocates. And, I saw a post the other day that was anonymous about, from Reynolds up there in Portland. So she is a Moms Demand volunteer that got promoted into the legislature. And so that is a big problem. And she will never, ever vote the way we need her to vote. She's always going to vote with that special interest money. So we have to understand these are, I don't want to say enemies, but they're not our friends, right? That's a real strong term. We're saying enemies. It's somebody on the other side that's really actively trying to take away our rights. And so we have to identify those people. So either we can put up a challenger or we can do stuff to figure out a way to circumvent their votes, right? And so I think, really, really important what's going on now is just setting us ourselves up for, when the election comes back around, is, having those candidates that are going to be ready to go, and making sure that we're voting. Like there's 180,000 of us that stayed home this year, which really could have been the difference between Measure 114, becoming law and not becoming law. And so, that's kind of the thing is knowing this process. No, I get it. I get it. So a challenger and would be hard in Portland. Like I totally understand. I totally get it. And I think you're right. But I will say this, okay? I think with what we saw in 2020, with the protests, the civil unrest, with the COVID lockdowns, like I really don't believe that. I feel that if we got somebody that their voice, if they could speak on our behalf and speak up for their citizens, their constituents' rights, I think we could have made moves there. And so that's kind of what I was hoping for. Is something that we can use this platform that we're developing for a way to educate, empower, recruit, all sorts of different things. And we're going to use technology to our advantage. And so many years, our side hasn't been using technology effectively enough. And so what we're doing here, like in the next, I would say 30 to 60 days to 90 to 6 months to the election, we are going to put things in place that people have never seen before. And I'm really, really excited for that, because this is going to change everything for Oregon, and the way we're going to engage with the public, the way we're going to, recruit, gun owners that are on our side. And so they understand, we're all in this together, right? So it's a united Oregon. That's where we're going with this new organization. And I know it's scary for some, because change, some of us are resistant to change, and I completely understand that, and I get it. But how much more can we afford to lose? And that'd be my question for people that are resistant to change, is how much more can we give up? And I'm to the point where I can't give up anymore. I'm to the point where there's not much more left for me to give. And so this is our opportunity to take the state in a different direction. And so that's kind of where we're at. And so, yeah, it's going to take strong candidates. Absolutely, Kyle. And what I really respect about you, Kyle, is you understand the young demographic that we need to attract to get them to our side, to get their vote. And so, we have to talk about liberty. We have to talk about individualism. We have to talk about, our God-given rights to self-defense. And that's what makes us unique here in Oregon, right? Is we're all individuals, right? But we can come together as a unit to make some changes if we want to do that. And so, absolutely, Larry, 100%, Larry. And I would use you as a prime example. You are really the poster person for change, and the change that I've seen in you, and what you've been able to accomplish since March, since we've been active in the Capitol. I mean, that, like, you are a testament to what can be done if we do this. And so, we just have to, and what, the vision, right? The big vision, the big picture here is, having, town halls in every county, is being able to get the information from the mothership, which is the nucleus of the organization, get it to volunteers on the ground in every 36 counties, and to be able to get volunteers in place, and to do something that hasn't been done, and hasn't been done in a long, long time. And if it has been done, it maybe have been done on a smaller scale, but we're talking about, scaling the message. And that's what I'm excited about. And, so, and it'll just take time. It'll take networking. It'll take funding. It'll take all sorts of different things. But I feel that, if we can focus the next 30 to 60 days about increasing our knowledge about how the process works, right? Also expanding our knowledge about how the other side interacts with us, how they perceive us, right? That's going to be really, really important. So we're going to be working on shirts. So we're going to have custom shirts. Everybody be the same when we're doing these events in public. And so, this is a way for us to, stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity and make a change and take back our state, really. And we don't, so it just comes with time and effort and putting in one foot in front of the other. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So, but I definitely, it starts tomorrow with that town hall. And so, there's, people are watching what we're doing. We have a lot of people that are watching what we're doing. They're impressed. I've got a lot of good conversations up there in the Capitol that have seen the way that we're behaving, the way we're interacting with people inside the building, and it's really refreshing for them, and so, that's going to build rapport. When we have rapport, they're going to pick up that phone, they're going to answer that email, and so, that's kind of where we're at. So let's see this one right here. Absolutely, Larry. I'm all ears, and so, and part of this stuff that I'm trying to do with this new org is bringing different perspectives, right? So my perspective isn't always the right perspective. I like to think that I'm at least on the right path, and then we put it out here as like kind of the sounding board, and then we figure out, do we tweak the message? Are we over target? And we just kind of modify it. That's the benefit of being able to use this tech to our advantage. And so that's what we're going to do. And so we just have to get better with the tech. I did just change my settings here. So now in this platform that I'm using here currently to stream to you guys, now I can share a screen. Now we can do full on. I can present. We can do all sorts of different things with this. And so that way we can, and I have Zoom portals. We can have up to 100 people at a time, so this is how we get this information out. This is how we train, effective volunteers to be advocates for our 2A rights. And this is how we grow this message. And so, that for me is really, really exciting, because I finally feel really good about my presentation here. It's been a long time coming. I've been doing this a year now. And for the longest time, I had to keep my screen lit on white just so you guys could see my face. And if I got, talking, then the screen would shut down and time out on me, and then I'd go dark and I'd have to log back in. So I'm not doing that anymore. And I really look forward to being able to polish the message to make it where it resonates and turnkey, and we can take and share it and go from there. And so one thing about this group is, so we're broadcasting this right now inside of the group, but we're also broadcasting simultaneously to YouTube. And so once we have the organization set up, we're going to switch the YouTube channel, and that link on the YouTube channel can be shared directly from your personal Facebook pages. And that's how we grow this message. And these comments on YouTube, if somebody's doing the live stream with us on YouTube, the comments will pop up here, so I can highlight them like this. And so that's what's really exciting about this platform that I'm using here. I can add more stuff. I can have up to 10 people at a time in here. So there's a lot of things I can do with this stuff, and I'm really, really excited about being able to bring new, fresh ideas to the state of Oregon. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to get on here and just kind of touch base with you guys and let you know where we're at. And so, 2005, it's, get a first reading tomorrow if they show up, and that's kind of where we're at. 2002, that one's going to get the third reading, and they're going to vote on Monday. And so that one is, that one's bad. So I don't know how that doesn't cost them seats in November. And I think that's going to be a move that we make, is just the people that voted for this were against parents' rights. And I think that we should use that to our advantage. And so, yeah, Larry, very cool tools. They are. And so I'm glad to have this opportunity to be able to talk to the reps tomorrow, but also be able to kind of showcase, Oregon gun owners. We're doing the thing, and we're going to keep doing the thing, and we're going to change, and we're going to stop the stuff, and we're going to have barbecues, and we're going to celebrate together. And that's what's going to happen. It's just going to take time. And, they don't, with the Bruin decision stuff in court, they do not, their time is limited here. And so, that's kind of, so the YouTube channel here. So the YouTube channel is Lethal Lovebirds LLC. It's my business. It only has 30 subscribers. And so what I'll do is I can put a link in there, and that way you guys can subscribe to that. I'm not trying to really, it's going to be there. I'm going to use it until I get the organization set up, and then we're going to switch over. And then, that's where we're going to go. Let me get the link real quick, and then I'll share it to you. And that way you can see, you guys can subscribe to it. And then, whenever we do these, you guys can also share that outside of the group. And so that'd be a great option for us to be able to get that stuff outside of here, because there's certain stuff that we got to be careful of. But for the most part, interaction is going to be really, really important. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So let's see if I can do this. We're going to be 1 second. Saturday check-in. Hey, that's me. If I can do this. Okay. We're going to be 1 second. Saturday check-in. Hey, that's me. If I can do this. Okay. We're going to be 1. All right. Sorry about that. I'm still a work in progress. So that's the link. And so that's kind of, Larry. Here we go. So yeah, ideas for a t-shirt. It's going to be simple to the point, and it's going to be something that we can attract others with, right? So we're working on the colors. One thing we have to look about the colors is, in Oregon, we have the red, we have the blue, we also have yellow for the Libertarian Party. And so we're thinking about incorporating that into the logo. So, obviously where we're going with this is like I've done that drawing. Remember my drawing with the 4 circles here? I'm not going to simulate it again. But the 4 circles, like, we have common ground. Our common grounds are 2A. And so that's kind of the thought process here is that's where we're at. And yeah, I don't need to be vetted. That's the one thing here, Larry, is my 2A my true 2A trumps all of that, right? So I have from, Section 1, Article 27, the Oregon Constitution, I have the right to keep and bear arms. And it doesn't mean I have a background check. Obviously we compromise a little bit by having CHLs and all that stuff, 4473 form. I get that. But I don't have to be vetted, right? My 2A is my 2A. And so we just got to be smart about it. And so, that's kind of the thing. And so it just all takes time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to engage with the younger voters, and we're going to get them involved. And we're going to do some things together. And so, that's kind of where we're at. So I don't want to take too much of your time. But I just want to give you that update. Also a reminder. So for tomorrow, if you guys can do me a solid and tune in at 4 p.m., we'll get going. And obviously I'll do an introduction. I'll let them kind of talk, and then we'll just start dropping our comments into here. And then what I'll do is I can just highlight them like this, and then we can talk about them. Right. And so I'll give them the opportunity to answer the questions. Right. And so that's going to be really the most important part, is to, be civil. I know there's people that are a lot of, tense. Things are not necessarily going the way they're going, but they're taking the time out of their Sunday to touch base with us, their constituents or potential constituents, right? If you live in their district. And so let's be nice to them and support them, because, this is the best way for us to learn is for us to get information from subject matter experts. Okay. And so the best way for us to understand how the machine works is to get information from people inside the machine. And so that's the only thing, that's why I'm bringing all these guys. I'm really, really excited about some of these guys that we'll be bringing, some guys and gals. So that's about where I'm at. So working on Sunday, the thing about working on Sunday, they have to have a quorum to actually be working. So there's a good chance that they might not have the quorum again. So there'll be another day, which then the media is going to demonize them and say that they're just bad people. But what it's doing is it's buying us time. And so, hopefully, this is going to be enough where they're going to do something pretty drastic to force their hand. And at that point, we're going to be in a better spot. And, I don't want to talk too much about it because things always change. But there's some good things that could happen if things go the way we need to go. And, a lot of stuff, I'm sorry I have to vague book it, but it's like, I got to be careful because I don't want to ruin these plans. And the plans constantly change. One thing I never want to do from this seat right here is I want to put out good information. I don't want to put out stuff that I'm going to have to retract, or, I don't want to lose your trust, your credit. I don't want to lose my credibilities either. So, there's a lot that goes into the words that come out of my mouth. And I try to be as careful with the words that I do use. So that's why I'm not going to say, the sky is falling and stuff like that. Cause I'm going to be, because there's people that pay attention to this, and then there's people that trust this information. So I want to make sure that I can continue to keep this platform and this microphone, because this only works if you guys show up and you guys tune in and you guys, take notice and you guys get out of your comfort zones like you guys have been doing. Like we had record testimony. Let me pull up. So 2572 right here. I have it right here. So I'm going to look up the testimony. We literally had record opposition to this bill. Like literally, it's probably 10-1, I would say, in this. I mean, it is going. And so, that's the biggest thing here is we had so many people that showed up, they took the time, and they wrote their testimony. And then some of you guys testified in the Zoom meeting, and I'm sure there was some that testified in person. So like, this is the stuff that we need to do to make them pay attention to, like, they're used to us not checked in. They're used to us just saying, oh, okay, can we have another, and give us another bad law. And it happens, and it continues to happen. And so this is something that's going to be new. And so with that being said, we have to be really, really careful, because they're going to start paying attention to that, and they're going to change their tactics. And so that's the whole point of this being a small organization where we're more nimble. We can get people. The whole point of this, once we build the database and get everything together, like, we'll be able to target regions. We'll be able to get volunteers there to town halls. We can get, there's so much stuff that we can do if we just come together under one tent, I should say. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. But it's a lot of work. And so, but it'll all pay off in the end. So that's about all I got. So any questions before I get off here? Are you guys excited like I am for this stuff? I hope so, because it's something that it's been needed in this state for a long time. And so it's all about bringing different groups together, and so we can all work together towards that same goal. So that's kind of where I'm at. So other than that, I think I'm gonna get off here. I got class tomorrow. I'll be on the range until 2-ish, and I'm gonna break down. I'm gonna hurry home and then get cleaned up, and then we'll be here at 4 p.m. And so that's Jeremy, I really, really appreciate you. And I'm glad you guys value this stuff. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this stuff, because it's fun for me. It's fun for me to be able to show. And I've already had people sign up for GRPC, which is, I'm really, really excited about that, is bringing Oregonians to Arizona to see what I've seen and meet the people that I've met. And so, this is what I'm really, really excited about, is this is going to open up so many avenues for us, right? You're going to be able to meet Dr. John Law. You're going to be able to meet all these people, Mark Walter, all these people that I know is through these journeys that I go on. And you guys are going to be able to do it too. It's going to be awesome. So I did get my ticket. I flew out of Eugene already. I got my ticket the other day as soon as I signed up, and I put the link in there. It was like $390. Okay. So, you know, the flight wasn't too expensive. And then obviously the hotel, you're looking probably I'm flying in Thursday. I'm coming out Monday because I'm going to do some stuff with Cabela's there. And so I'm going to stay a little bit longer, but you easily could do like a Friday to Sunday. You could do it down and dirty. There's going to be a reception every Friday night. They do it a prime rib dinner for everybody, and that's where they do the kind of the kickoff. Then the conference starts on Sunday, or excuse me, on Saturday. Then it goes to Sunday, and so you're looking. You could probably do it with, you know, the flight and, you know, hotel. You could probably do it for less than $1,000. And it's just something you can budget for right now. I reserve my hotel room on a credit card. I don't have to pay for it till I check in. So the only money I was out today was just the airline ticket, you know. So, and I also get books as well. Like, I've brought back books from these conferences. I have literally a stack this high of just 2A books. When I was thinking about is doing like a 2A library where I could send a book to somebody and they could send it back and you guys can check it out, right? So you guys can read and everything we can do to increase our knowledge. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So it's just, it's going to be a learning curve for some of us. Some of it's going to be easy because we're used to, you know, learning. You know, it just takes, you know, time and effort and energy and hope. And I feel that we have hope now. And so we have hope because we're together. So, and that's where we're going to keep going. So, you know, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. And I look forward to having some constructive conversations. And, you know, so until then, we'll see you later. Thank you.